All right, as you guys can see up on the screen today, we're talking a little bit about SoFi Technologies Incorporated. Once again, this is ticker symbol SOFI, or SoFi as it is more commonly known. This is a big up-and-coming fintech stock that has a very, very big and passionate kind of following, especially on social medias. Reddit, Twitter, StockTwits, YouTube, all over the place. People are really, really excited about this company, not only in the short term, but thinking far ahead in the future, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, that SoFi Technologies could be one of the massive, massive winners in the fintech space. Now, unfortunately for SoFi, as we've been covering the last few days, this has not been the hottest start to the year for them. We are down 12.37% on the year with SoFi Technologies, but some of the good news coming out today, in a way, even though we were down 0.29%, after hours, we're up 0.44%. So, if you count in the after hours, you could say that this has been the first green day of the year for SoFi. Now, I know a lot of people don't really consider after hours. It's so low volume. It's so extra speculative. It's so, just kind of ripe for extra volatility. And the prices don't usually hold too strong or mean that much unless there's a big reason, like an earnings report or some piece of news or something, which there's really not any massive news coming out for SoFi today. But I am counting this as the first green day for SoFi. Again, the start to the year 2022 has not been treating this stock that well, but maybe things are starting to turn around. Maybe this is the local bottom for SoFi. And when you compare SoFi to the rest of the market, even though it was down 0.29% today, in a way, SoFi was outperforming a lot of the market. The Dow Jones was only down 0.01%, so that wasn't as good. But the S&P was down 0.4%, NASDAQ down 0.96%, Russell down 1.2%. So SoFi, while it wasn't great, it's going down while the rest of the market, for the most part, is going down. So, it would be much more concerning, much more alarming, much worse news to me and a lot of, SoFi shareholders and investors and everything if SoFi was going down while the markets were humming, while the S&P was at all-time highs, while, the NASDAQ's ripping, the Dow Jones is ripping, other fintech stocks are ripping, and that's just not the case. A lot of stocks are, underperforming even the S&P and everything. While they're down, the S&P is down 0.4%. There's companies that were down 1, 2, 5, like 8% today. So the fact that SoFi is hanging in there a little bit, might be a good sign. And again, recently things haven't been great. So, maybe it's time to stop the bleeding a little bit, down around 17 to 18% in the last month and the last 6 months. But there was, other than the fact that it was, almost a green day for SoFi today, there is some other good news coming out for the stock. This is something we covered yesterday. The fact that Gavin Newsom said, hey guys, don't worry, the Super Bowl is still going to be held in SoFi Stadium. He's excited for the Super Bowl to be coming to SoFi Stadium. Now we have heard more California officials saying that the Super Bowl is coming to LA. California officials say COVID won't stop the game from being played at SoFi Stadium. So this is a very, very good deal. There were reports coming out that the NFL was looking at other sites, including AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The NFL, was asking about their potential availability because California was tightening up mass restrictions. They were tightening up restrictions against indoor public mega events or super events or whatever they were calling that, which obviously the Super Bowl would definitely be. So some people were worried that it might get moved out of SoFi Stadium, and SoFi investors were worried that they could miss out on a big, advertising or marketing opportunity, especially if the news of their official bank charter comes out between now and the Super Bowl. Super Bowl would be the biggest stage with a ton of eyes on the stadium and on the company to, maybe reach some new investors, maybe get some more people to download the app or whatever, because obviously the naming rights to the stadium are not cheap. This is a big investment for them, and, getting the Super Bowl out of it is one of the things that you're kind of paying for with that investment. And, if the Super Bowl did get moved from SoFi Stadium, who knows when it would come back. Obviously, these things are kind of a logistical nightmare. I'm sure the Super Bowls, are planned years and years in advance. It might be a while before things actually return to SoFi Stadium, if at all. Who knows exactly how it would play out. But I don't know if we've heard anything official from the NFL yet, but it does seem like everyone in California is still planning on having the Super Bowl. So that is a very, very good sign. Again, how much does this really mean for SoFi or the stock or the business in the short or long term? I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly how much. It's hard to quantify it. It's hard to put a dollar amount on it or anything. But obviously, I don't think it's going to be bad news that the Super Bowl will still be played at SoFi Stadium. And I think it would have potentially been at least some amount of bad news if it got moved away. So this is really, really good. This is something people want to see. Also, it seems like more and more good news or good articles or just positive spins are being released about SoFi. I know the Motley Fool just put this out where they said SoFi's next venture will disrupt traditional fintech. And they are getting really, really excited. This was, a couple of guys talking about different stocks and everything. And they said, I don't know, Jason, any parting thoughts about SoFi? And this guy, Jason Hall, apparently says, as long as they continue to execute the way they have, I'm going to continue to own it. I know a lot of investors aren't as crazy about it as I am, but I'm very convinced that this is the one that 10 years from now, I'll be very glad that I invested in. One of the other guys like, yeah, it's a long-tailed play. It's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. And, people are ready for a roller coaster ride with SoFi, I think. We've seen how volatile this thing's been over the last year. Lots of ups and downs. And that can be very good, if you're constantly buying the dips, if you're even selling the tops. But even if you're not selling, if you're just buying every time it dips, by the time the third or fourth dip comes around, you've accumulated a ton of shares. All of a sudden, your money's doing a lot of work for you. You're getting a lot of, obviously, just exposure to SoFi overall if it is a company that you like and believe in. And that kind of helps with the FOMO and stuff as well. You don't have to just buy in on these huge run-ups if you know, hey, it'll probably dip back down a little bit. I'll have another chance to get at these prices. And it lets you, save up some money, get paid a little bit more, get some more paychecks, all that stuff, recuperate from even the holiday season and start loading up again. So I do think this is really, really cool. And obviously, the Motley Fool is a place people go for a lot of advice and a lot of investment stuff, and seeing them talk positively about it can only be a good thing in my opinion. And then it was funny because there was this post on the SoFi stock subreddit where people were saying, yeah, SoFi's taking a beating, but at least it's not dead in the water like Robinhood, which was super, super funny because if you take a look at the graph from Robinhood, I mean, this thing has just gotten beaten down. It IPO'd at around $38 and it's now sitting at $15.89. Its all-time highs were, I don't even know, it was way up there, $85, and to now be at $15.89 is absolutely crazy. So, hey, just remember, even though, we're down 26% in the last year on SoFi and we're not doing so good year to date, just know it could always be worse, especially when most SoFi shareholders and investors really, really do believe that the future is super, super bright for this company and this stock. It doesn't really matter what happens in the short term because, again, as long-term investors, you should be thinking, where's this company going 5, 7, 10 years from now, and what are those returns going to look like if the company is able to execute on everything that they're saying and everything that they plan. So I think that is obviously super, super cool. And then a lot of people, still talking about, even though things are down a little bit, how many shares of SoFi that they do own. The guy who posted this said he's sitting on 1,000 shares. This guy's sitting at 8,000 shares at $22. Too many, 90,000. All these crazy numbers. Where again, even though SoFi hasn't been doing super great recently, even though these people are down on their investments, they're still showing that hey, they're holding, they're hanging in there, they're even buying some more, buying the dips, getting ready for the next crazy run up, and hopefully again in the long run, this will pay off for all those people who are involved with SoFi because I know it's a very, very exciting fintech company that potentially has a bright future ahead of it. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.